Here's your wrestling news for September 2nd, 2021. And your headlines for today include WWE NXT set to become a Vince McMahon and Bruce Prichard production. WWE fans are angry. Tony Khan makes furious appearance after AEW Dynamite. What really happened? Andrade vs. Pac pulled from All Out due to travel issues. Andrade to face mystery opponent. Britt Baker signs multi-year AEW contract extension. CM Punk says AEW wrestler brought him to tears before AEW debut. Explains why Darby Allin is the perfect opponent for his in-ring return. CM Punk's next appearance, status of ice cream bars. WWE planning two-night WrestleMania 38 event. WWE's plans for the upcoming Draft 2021. WWE pulls John Cena's Broken Skull Sessions episode. Sting does a Scott Hall impersonation after AEW tapings. Jon Moxley speaks, and more. We're kicking off with NXT, which has been undergoing some changes recently, all part of Vince McMahon's new vision for the Gold brand. In addition to a cut to the roster, a new logo has been confirmed, a new theme song by Wale is expected, as well as a new stage, which explains why the 3 weeks of content for the show has been taped in advance. During Wrestling Observer Live, Bryan Alvarez discussed the changes to the Gold brand and how the reign of Triple H as NXT's head is officially over. He said, "I've been told by several people that when they go back to live shows that this will be a Vince McMahon and Bruce Prichard production. I want you all to remember that, and I want you to watch the show if that's the case, because I was told repeatedly by fans that Vince had to be booking NXT for over a year now, and I told you that Vince wasn't booking NXT and you didn't believe me. Well, it appears that very soon he is going to be in charge of NXT." Triple H has been in charge of NXT ever since the show rebranded in 2012, but that isn't the case anymore. And with Prichard already the executive producer of both Raw and SmackDown, his influence across WWE only continues to grow with this monumental move. Bruce Prichard and Vince McMahon are now running NXT in possibly the biggest change to the show since the 2012 rebrand, but they won't be overseeing every result on the Gold brand. That's according to Dave Meltzer, who followed up Alvarez's initial report by saying, "McMahon and Prichard will be behind the big decisions, not the little ones, and will be behind marketing, promotion, and direction. Their role in booking may only be regarding those at the top." The team of Prichard and McMahon will presumably be the deciders for title changes and other major moments, but it's unclear who will oversee the more finer details from the show. It's possible that these decisions will be delegated to Triple H, but it's impossible to say what role the game will have now. And we'll just have to wait until September 14th for NXT's huge relaunch. More changes to NXT now, as two of the Gold brand's top stars are going to be fully fledged faces, according to reports. PW Insider notes that NXT Women's Champion Raquel Gonzalez will be a confirmed babyface going forward, and is set to defend her title against Kaylee Ray and likely Frankie Monet as the top face of the women's division. Indy Hartwell is also set to be a fully fledged face going forward after proposing to Dexter Lumis on NXT, with their wedding confirmed for later this month. It's been reported that Gonzalez and Hartwell will be the top two female babyfaces going forward, and for all the changes happening to the Gold brand right now, these two superstars will continue to be a prominent feature of TV for a long time to come. We've already reported how Vince McMahon and Bruce Prichard will be taking control of NXT from now on, but they're not the only backstage names coming to NXT from the main roster. According to Fightful, McMahon and Prichard weren't at the last set of NXT TV tapings, but one person who has been around the Performance Center more than usual lately is Jamie Noble. It's interesting to see that a main roster producer is spending more time with NXT than usual, and time will tell if Noble is joined by even more names from the main roster, and how this will influence NXT when they go live again in a few weeks' time. Prichard and McMahon will be in charge of the Gold brand, which they plan on turning back into a developmental ground for the main roster, much to the anger of fans. On social media, fans spoke out in full force against the reports of Prichard and the chairman being in control, and RIP NXT was trending for a time on Twitter. Triple H was also trending as fans wondered how he took the news, and it's worth noting that NXT talent haven't been told about any changes ahead of time. Fans are now in mourning for the NXT that was once the crown jewel of wrestling, and although fans will be able to relive the show's 2012 to 2021 run under the game on Peacock and the network, serious changes are already in the works, with more coming later this month. Over to AEW next, as last night's Dynamite ended in chaos at the hands of Kenny Omega and the Elite, as Christian Cage and a slew of babyfaces took a beatdown inside a locked cage. This was quite the way to end the 100th episode of Dynamite, and Tony Khan wasn't happy about it either, as he seemed furious after Dynamite went off the air. Khan probably wasn't happy about how the broadcast ended while Omega was still cutting his promo, and the AEW president was still seething as he promised that there'd be no outside interference during the AEW World Tag Team title match this Sunday between the Young Bucks and the Lucha Bros. A still irate Khan was led to the back by AEW officials while Omega continued to taunt him in the ring. The segment ended with Omega posing the lifeless Christian Cage with the title belt, mocking his challenger ahead of their match at All Out. We'll have to see how Khan plays into this Sunday's AEW World title match between Omega and Cage, but the company president was far from his usual cool, calm, and collected self after last night's broadcast. This Sunday's All Out event will have plenty of huge matches, but one massive match has now been pulled from the show. On Twitter, Tony Khan informed fans that Pac vs. Andrade has been postponed due to travel issues, and that the two will eventually collide on a future episode of Rampage. In response, Andrade fired off a tweet of his own, teasing an open challenge for All Out, and it'll be interesting to see who answers the call. With reports of Daniel Bryan joining AEW this Sunday, perhaps it'll be the former WWE World Champion who responds to Andrade's open challenge in what would be another huge debut for the company. Time will tell who steps up to Andrade this Sunday, but for now, the battle of the former NXT champions between Pac and Andrade isn't happening. Britt Baker will be in action this Sunday when she defends her Women's World title against Chris Statlander, and she's now confirmed she's not going anywhere else. Baker, who is the first female AEW talent other than Brandi Rhodes, has signed a new multi-year contract extension that she announced during Dynamite. That will ensure that AEW has the dentist around for years to come, and though it remains to be seen where her boyfriend Adam Cole goes next, Baker isn't leaving AEW. Baker has proven to be a wise signing for AEW, but she's not the only big name in their women's division, as they recently signed Thunder Rosa to a contract. Rosa was backstage for CM Punk's AEW debut at Rampage The First Dance, and made the moment extra special according to the former WWE champion himself. Speaking on the Angie Taylor Show, Punk admitted that he was incredibly nervous before his debut, and it was the former NWA Women's Champion who calmed him down. He said, "I'm gonna call out Thunder Rosa. I was a nervous wreck the whole time, and I'm pacing the hallways. I can't sit still, I can't watch a monitor, I can't talk to people. I'm running around, and then I'm waiting to go out, waiting for my music to hit, and she just looks at me and goes, 'Hey, welcome back,' and I almost burst into tears. I was just like, I just want to punch you right in the chest." She got me pretty good with that one. I don't think that was her intention, but man, she got me. Punk has said that there's many wrestlers in AEW he wants to help, and will have time to do just that with his multi-year contract. But it was Thunder Rosa who helped Punk in his return to the world of wrestling. Punk's debut at Rampage The First Dance was a monumental success, and it was shortly after his promo that Punk vs. Darby Allin was confirmed for All Out. This is without a doubt the most anticipated match on the card, and arguably of the entire year, and there's a reason why Punk chose the former TNT champion. Speaking to the New York Post, Punk called Allin the perfect opponent for his in-ring return and explained why, saying, "I think he's the perfect opponent. I'm kind of approaching it like I'm quasi-new guy, but old head coming back into this thing. From an artistic storyline perspective, I can't go after Kenny Omega right away. He's the world champion. It wouldn't make any sense. I never wrestled in this organization. Darby is a lot of things. He's a fantastic talent. He's a great personality. Within the AEW storytelling, he's a very compelling character that the fans like. I just think he's like the perfect foil right now." Perhaps Punk will one day challenge for the AEW World Championship, something plenty of fans would love to see, but for now, the best in the world is ecstatic to challenge the popular Darby Allin this Sunday. Punk will be wrestling this Sunday, but fans won't have to wait until then to catch the best in the world. For this Friday's Rampage, it's been confirmed that Punk will be on the show, and we're sure he'll have a lot to say just 48 hours removed from arguably the biggest match of his career. When Punk debuted on Rampage The First Dance, fans in attendance got CM Punk ice cream bars on their way out, and this trend is going to continue. On Twitter, AEW confirmed that ice cream bars will be on sale at concession stands this week, including at Friday's Rampage and All Out, giving the red-hot crowd a chance to cool off with a delicious frozen treat. Back to WWE, and for the past 2 years, WrestleMania has been a 2-day show, and fans can expect this again next year. Fightful reports that the current plan is for WrestleMania 38 to be a 2-day event starting on Saturday, April 2nd, due to the unanimously positive response that these shorter shows have had from both fans and the superstars themselves. This is a change in plans for WWE, as in January, Stephanie McMahon told TV Insider that 2-night events were over after WrestleMania 37, and though plans are always subject to change, the current direction is for a 2-night spectacular next April. Long before WrestleMania 38, WWE will hold a draft which is set to happen next month, but it's too early to know what exactly is the plan. It's already been rumored that Drew McIntyre will be moving to SmackDown, given that he's wrapping things up on Raw and taking losses, but the Scotsman's move hasn't been confirmed. When Ringside News asked a member of WWE's creative team about the McIntyre rumors, they were given the vague answer that it's neither accurate nor inaccurate, because no draft picks have been decided just yet. WWE may indeed move Drew to SmackDown, but as for now, no moves have been confirmed backstage in WWE, nor has the draft even been formally announced to the public. Drew on SmackDown makes a lot of sense, especially as he's been exclusively on Raw since returning to the main roster in 2018, but for now, nothing is set for next month's draft. As a 16-time WWE World Champion, John Cena has a ton of stories from the industry, but fans will be waiting longer for him to sit down with Stone Cold Steve Austin. PW Insider reports that Seth Rollins will replace Cena on the next Broken Skull Sessions, which is set to air on September 26th after Extreme Rules, and no reason has been given as to why John isn't on the show. WWE apparently has a couple of Broken Skull Sessions in the can, as they already have an episode with Rollins ready to air, and we'll just have to keep waiting for Cena and the Rattlesnake to meet face-to-face. And we're ending today with Sting, and long before he was raising hell in AEW, he was the face of WCW, feuding with the NWO. This week, Jon Moxley, Eddie Kingston, and Darby Allin competed in the final match of the AEW Dark Elevation tapings, and post-match, the Stinger spoke to the crowd, even doing an impression of Scott Hall. This was a cool nod to Sting's days in WCW and his wars with the likes of Hall, Nash, and Hogan, and it goes to show that the icon can still entertain the crowd even when he's not competing in the ring. Well guys, that's our news for today. Please share your comments below. Also hit the like button, subscribe to our channel, and hit the bell icon to receive all notifications. And as always, thanks for watching.